MP. Atushuna tatu point.
Fatherland. The second part of the solemn ceremonies that the State House is hosting is about to start. The dignitaries have started arriving from the Heroes Acre, where earlier on President Mbumba, as well as the Vice President Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, as well as family members and the ruling party SWAPO leadership also laid wreaths, in remembrance of the late President Hage G. But to give us a recap as well as what is to happen here at State House is the press secretary in the presidency, Dr. Alfredo Hengari. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning.
So the dignitaries are arriving, they are about to be seated, and you also just got here from the Heroes Acre, where the first part of the program, as announced today and yesterday as well, started. So to just take us through what happened at the befitting part of these solemn ceremonies.
It was indeed a befitting ceremony that was highly solemn. No speeches were delivered apart from a prayer and a mini sermon by Pastor Baluvara, who was President Geingob's pastor and also a close friend. Of course, we are in a period of remembrance, and President Nangolo Mbumba emphasized that we are not mourning again. We are remembering a highly inspiring legacy. The second part of the program here at State House will be, of course, be led by President Mbumba, who will deliver remarks, and there will also be a tribute by Professor Kashabibi, who was a very close friend of President Geingob. They've worked together for over 5 decades, and they've known each other from high school. So it's indeed an individual of pedigree who knows President Geingob very well. Of course, President Mbumba met his brother and comrade, President Geingob, in 1967, and they've since journeyed together. The President will deliver remarks to the Namibian nation, just to remember the exceptional leadership qualities that President Geingob shared with many Namibians, a leader who was highly dedicated to the well-being and welfare of the Namibian people.
Now, Dr. Ngari, this remembrance is taking place a month before Namibia inaugurates a new president, which is also knowing the late President Geingob was a Democrat who always emphasized the principles of democracy. And look, during the time that we are remembering him, it's just a month away now from the country transitioning. This process is being hailed that he fondly so pushed and spoke of at every given platform. What does it say about his character or his leadership style?
President Geingob, as you correctly mentioned, was a committed Democrat. He was convinced about the benefits of democracy for the Namibian people, and he always rooted his convictions about democracy in the liberation struggle, because the struggle was about rights for the oppressed majority, which is black. Therefore, he saw nothing else in terms of governance apart from democratic governance, which he defined as effective governance. And he also emphasized processes, systems, and institutions, and would always say that if you are unhappy, always refer to your democratic institutions, your democratic processes, and your democratic institutions. And as a convinced Democrat, elections were quite central in his vision of democracy, because it was the only way through which you could guarantee the peaceful transfer of power from one leader to another. And as you correctly pointed out, we are a month and a few days away from in our democracy, which is the handover of leadership from one president to another. And it's an important milestone because Namibians have elected the first female to be the head of state, which again speaks to some of the values that President Geingob and others had continued to champion since independence. The question of gender equality, the question of inclusivity, more broadly speaking, trying to ensure that each and every Namibian, irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of their background, we have to ensure equality of opportunity for each and every Namibian so that they can prosper, irrespective of gender, irrespective of race, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of socio-economic status. These are things that President Geingob held quite dear, and it's also good for some of us to witness these milestones, which can only augur well for the growth of our democracy and the quality of governance in our country.
Now, Dr. Ngari, yesterday your office announced that the Heroes Acre, the public can go and pay homage to the late Dr. Geingob at the Heroes Acre. What are the arrangements in that regard?
Well, President Mbumba gave the clear instruction that Heroes Acre should be open for the Namibian public to go and pay homage to the memory and legacy of President Hage G. Geingob between noon and 1600. Namibians are free to visit the mausoleum, to be at Heroes Acre, and to remember a leader who touched so many lives. The message by President Mbumba was that President Geingob was an inclusive leader. He was a leader of the people. Therefore, anything that is done to honor his legacy and his memory should include the Namibian public. And it's from that vantage point that Heroes Acre will be open for each and every member of the Namibian public who wishes to go there. And I think what we should also emphasize is that we have seen Namibians honoring the memory and legacy of President Geingob in many different ways, in their own individual ways. They've been expressing this on social media. They've been expressing this on NBC television. So I think it's a solemn day, but as President Mbumba had emphasized, it's a day of remembrance. We are not mourning again because President Geingob lived an exemplary life, and that is worth remembering.
Well, Doc, the ceremony is about to start here at State House. So thank you so much for joining us and then just reflecting on the activities or the program at the Heroes Acre that took place this morning and the second part that's about to start now. So thank you so much, Doc. All right, then that is the press secretary in the presidency, Dr. Alfredo Shiurimo Hengari, just reflecting on, as I said, the day that he said or was conveyed by Dr. Mbumba as a day of remembrance, paying tribute, homage to the third president of the republic, that's Dr. Hage G. Geingob, who passed on this day last year. So the ceremony here at State House is about to start, and we will fill you in throughout.
Excellency, President of our Republic and his entourage. May we all kindly take our seats. Your Excellency, Comrade President and Madam Mbumba, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to observe the protocol that I established this morning at the Heroes Acre during part one of our program. I warmly welcome you all at State House for us to continue with the second part of the program, that the program of commemorative ceremony. We are celebrating the life of our departed president. As we all share in this moment of reflection, let us remember President Geingob not only as a statesman, but also as a compassionate leader who believes in the power of dialogue and collaboration. Let us take a moment to reflect on the lesson we have learned from President Geingob's life. For sure, his legacy urges us all to embrace our differences and to work collaboratively for the common good. May this moment, another ceremony, continue to serve as a reminder of our shared responsibility to uphold his ideals and to strive for the future that reflects his dream that he had for our nation, and that is one Namibia, one nation. On that note, Your Excellency, it is now my privilege to invite Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly, to deliver his remarks. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much by offering me this opportunity. Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, our First Lady, Siski Mbumba, the Vice President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Daitwa, our Prime Minister, Sarah Kukungela Hamadira, my dear friend, the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Works and Transport, John Mutorwa, distinguished invited guests, let me simply stand by the protocol that has been established already and refer to all of you, brothers and sisters, and particularly the family of the bereaved, our dear brother, the late Dr. Hage Geingob. As we mark the first anniversary of the passing of our dear brother, our dear leader, Dr. Hage Geingob. We remember him fondly, and this is an occasion to celebrate his life and to pay tribute to his contribution to our nation's growth and development. I, for one, remember him for so many things in life that goes back to our youth, back at high school, at the government college, Augustinium, as it is commonly known. Indeed, Hage's life is closely associated with Namibia's struggle for freedom and independence and nation building. Those two things are linked in his life as we remember him. To some of us, he was a friend, a colleague of long standing, with whom we have traversed many challenges in life and shared many moments of joy and happiness. I don't know how often Hage and Nangolo and I will come together and talk about things that we have witnessed in life, the particular challenges that confronted us, and also at the same time look forward to the day when we can all be out of the active service and simply enjoy a moment of peace and tranquility. In our case, he did not live to continue that conspiracy, if you like, a discussion about simple things in life. President Hage Geingob was indeed a champion of transformation, who wanted to see a strong and united Namibia. I think that was at the core. As we spent many years out there preparing for the day when we can come back here, I think his drive, his energy was directed to that idea of one Namibia, one nation. Something that would uphold the rule of law, systems, using his expression, structures and processes that will enable us to stand tall and to be proud of who we are. That is how he wanted this nation and the people of this country to define themselves. In this way, it would guarantee our peace and stability and proper functioning of the three organs of states: the executive, judiciary, and legislature. I think that was his dream, and that's why he devoted so much energy to drive everybody in the direction of making sure that we produce that constitution of an independent Namibia within the prescribed time frame as authorized by the United Nations Security Council. He devoted time to make sure that the team that was put together to prepare that constitution worked hard and make everybody in that room, we're about 21 members, to make sure that everybody felt we had something to contribute. And there was no question of imposing a view, but to do that by consensus. So that document is owned by all of us, are sitting there and presented it effectively to the Constituent Assembly for endorsement. All those things happened. It was a joy. But it took a tremendous pressure on him to carry it on his shoulder to make sure that job is done, and the day when we can put our flag up can come about within that time frame. Well, he was a parliamentarian. That was his starting point. He spent many years as a member of parliament. He left, he came back, prime minister, came back as a prime minister. Again, that was the place where he belonged. And it is for that reason, because I've been reading a lot of commentaries, members of parliament who have been expressing themselves, they could have been here to pay tribute directly on this occasion. Let me, on behalf of members of parliament and my own behalf, pay a special tribute to this great son of Namibia, a statesman of high repute, a champion of peace, and someone who attached great importance to our role as a nation, as well as the continent of Africa, to have a place so that we can be part of the process of shaping issues that affect Africa as a continent and affect the global South and the world in general. He was an extraordinary ambassador, a leader, and the world leader who had an opportunity to be listened to by many people because they attached great importance to his vision of the world, and in particular, the country of his birth, Namibia. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, to inform us, to inform this audience. How did you know your brother, late Hage Geingob? I know there was not enough time for you to tell all what you have been doing with late Geingob, but let me tell you as audience. At a given time, and this is not a joke, it's true, the late Hage was telling us the time they were at the school with Dr. Kachavivi, that's Augustum. And as a young politician, President Hage Geingob was the best speaker. And apparently, Professor Kachavivi was the tallest young man in the group. So he has to carry President Hage on his shoulder. And I was just wondering, with that weight, how he did that. Apparently, he was carrying a Dr. Hage on his shoulder to be able to speak for the rest of the group students to hear what the President Hage is saying. Is that right? Did I tell the truth? Thank you so much. But there are so many stories to tell. I did not do it perfect. I believe he wants to do it more perfect. Please come back to the stadium again. Thank you.
I was going to be extremely brief to the point because I thought we all have to manage our time carefully. But now that question is now taking us back. We were a group of us, quite a number of us. I mentioned a few names, the late Hitipo Hamtenya, Moseshi Tendero, a couple of other young men and women of our time, people of our generation. But Hage was there Agustinium, I think, a few years ahead of us. So in my group, we were in the newcomers, and we have to be to perform certain activities where we had to be to entertain the older students who were there before us. Being a latecomer, you have to do all sorts of things to comply with the rules. So they call it a kind of a treatment. You are being treated. And the last day of this special occasion, we were paraded in the hall to be released now, to be formally accepted as students. So we mixed with everybody like the older ones were there before us. So Hage was given the responsibility to read the order. I don't know whether you people have gone through this kind of... it's rough, and it is sometimes... So so we were there. He did not call Moseshi Tendero or Hitipo Hamtenya. He called me up, and because I was a little bit taller, I was among the, almost getting to 6 feet, I'm now, as my old age now, I'm going down. But so he called me up, and I think it started for something. Our friend actually started with being active sports people, playing soccer, rugby, and wrestling. We actually did wrestle, and he pointed into my legs and said, "This guy is tough. You look tough." And I said, "You are the one saying that I'm tough. It's not me." So he said, "Look, I'm going to address these kids. I want to be elevated. The only way I can do that is to stand on your shoulder, and I know you're going to do that because you are strong." Because he was a big boy as well, like me. And so I said, "Okay, it is a challenge, but I do it on behalf of the newcomers." So he got on me here, and he took his time to read this order. So I tell you, this is how far back we go. And our friendship started shaped by sharing our political consciousness and working together at that time. Both of us joined SWAPO Party the same year. We're born the same year. There are not people like that you can point to and say, "That's my buddy, friend." That is an indication that I know a great deal about my dear brother. It's difficult not to have him around, but life must go on. We must go on, pick up the pieces, and the vision is still with us in terms of one Namibia, one nation, and that is what we have to live. That is the legacy that we need to preserve and build so that we can have a country that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
My sincere apology, Professor. I did not mean to do so to drop tears, but we are here to remember our departed leader, things that he has said to us, things that he has done for us. There's so many. If I was to allow each of us to tell a story about their relation with Dr. Hage, we would need about 5 days to do so. But as you rightly said, we have to manage the time. That part, I just thought it should be reflected, because remember, we are here to remember Dr. Hage. We are not necessarily here to mourn. It's 12 months ago when he parted. This coming together is really to remember those things that he has done, he has said to us. One of them, I'm actually putting, Your Excellency, if you may allow me, I'm putting on the watch that Dr. Hage gave to me 46 years ago. And I still have it. That was 1979 in Lusaka. I was a younger combatant, just came in from the front. Honorable Netumbo Nandi, by then he was the SWAPO representative in Lusaka, had come in for a mission, and I met Dr. Hage. On the 3rd of December, 1979, he gave me this watch. Please pass on to. See, I'm holding or having. I want to check I've been having that watch. Why it was not lost, why it was not damaged, I do not know. But it's 46 years old, rotary, automatic. Those they watch on top at that time. So I still have it, and it is original. One day when we have an occasion of fundraising in honor of Dr. Hage, I brought to the table and salute $1 million that will contribute. It's 46 years, rotary, no change, no, still working, and I still have it in its original form. Please see it and you bring it back to me. Thank you, thank you. We will continue with the program. We will continue with the program. At this stage, I now have the honor to invite one of the sons. And again, if Dr. Hage was here, he would tell us a story that I met that young man, and when I met him, he was tall as my knee, not even my hip. And that is Amos Yuka, who truly has been working very hard as a chairperson of the Dr. Hage Cup committee. Amos, I know it's not an easy moment, but you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Ambassador. I'm not sure if this is the right platform for me to speak, seeing that you have a watch that is almost my age. But yeah, it is quite difficult. I thought a year later it might be a bit lighter.